What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I'm talking about Abyss, or I guess English terms, Ogdoadic is the new name for the new reptile archetype coming in Ancient Guardians in about a week. We're almost exactly a week away. Very, very excited. This is the archetype that I by far am most excited for out of everything coming from Ancient Guardians. So yeah, so today, because we're a week away, I want to talk about probably like the three kind of best ways that you can attempt to play Ogdoadic or Abyss, because one of those decks that can combine with a couple different things. And so I'm going to be showing off the three probably best ways to play the deck, and you know, their strengths and weaknesses, how they're going to work different, what you're going to need to look at to kind of build, and we'll show some builds as well. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time going over the actual cards of the archetype, because there are plenty of videos out there where you can look up and research you know, what the cards specifically do. But if you want a brief description, essentially this is a deck based around like wanting to send multiple of its own Abyss monsters to the graveyard, because they can resummon themselves by tributing a certain number of monsters on your field to bring themselves back, and then a lot of them get an additional effect once they are brought back there. So it's a very graveyard-centric heavy deck, has a couple of great starters, making use of something like Snake Rain. We knew someday Snake Rain would be great, and this is the deck it will finally be useful in. And yeah, you just kind of keep recurring them, keep summoning them back, and trying to amass resources, make some boss monsters, and set up a nice, sexy board. So yeah. All right, so let's get in with the first build. This is not too shocking, right? This is pure Abyss or Ogdoadic. This is to be expected, right? Like, this is an archetype. It can be played pure. There are some purists out there who might want to keep the deck pure. That's up to them. Here we are looking at a basic kind of list here. Keep in mind, all these lists are just from people I found on the internet. This one is by Super Nix on YouTube, so definitely check him out if you want to see this video and some of his other stuff. But yeah, this is a pretty basic build, right? You're just solely focusing on the Abyss stuff. You're playing obviously the Snake Rains and the Foolish Burial for the archetype, and your starter boys, which are these two ones, the main ones. And then you're playing mostly one-ofs of just the ones that bring themselves back from grave, because you don't really want to draw them. He's also playing Mothman, which can help him get rid of them should he draw them, which I actually quite like. And is Mothman a reptile? No, Mothman's an insect. Mothman's the insect, so it doesn't have a synergy there being a reptile, but not the end of the world. There, and it's pretty standard. I mean, there's nothing too crazy here. The extra deck is a bunch of like rank 8 kind of toolbox stuff, because a lot of the monsters that come back from grave are level 8s, rank 4s like feral imps and stuff, and a couple of link monsters as well. So the stuff is fine. I mean, I have no problems with this list. I don't fully know what I would even change about it, but I think, you know, pure is fine. I don't think it's the best version, because I think this is one of those decks that isn't insanely normal summon heavy. So like, you can combine really strong normal summon based archetypes with this archetype and get a little more bang for your buck that way. Speaking of which, the next one we're going to look at here is, I guess, kind of a combination here of like Invoked Abyss or Invoked Chaos Abyss. As you can see, there's a very small Chaos package with the two baby Chaos Dragons and the Chaos Spaces. What I like here is that Chaos Space discards a light or a dark to work, which means if you draw any of your bricky one-ups, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even potentially 6 if you want to count him as well, this deck just naturally plays 5 to 6, kind of just bricks with the Abyss engine. And so having cards like this as just part of your engine is really nice, just to get them in grave, but also make up for that by immediately searching awesome extenders like the baby Chaos Dragons. Now, when I look at the extra deck, I'm not sure exactly what the baby Chaos Dragons are really getting you to. There's not, like, there's rank 4s, but it's like Feral Imp and like the Rika rank 4. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but I guess they do just count as pretty good link material for like Appaloosa. So that's fine as well. It gets you to more disruption, gets you working there, and that's totally fine. So that works. I mean, great extenders, great everything. So yeah, and like I said before, with this deck not being super normal summon reliant, there are starters in the deck, but that's like Snake Rain and the in-archetype Foolish Burial, right? Like, we have starters, but they're not necessarily normal summon reliant. So having something like Invoked as a secondary engine seems to work really well here. So yeah, I think this is fine. But again, I don't think this is the overall best build. Maybe it is, but I don't think it is just yet. Also, what I really like is that even on its own, the Invoked engine is just a 1-card negate, which means even if you don't draw anything playable as far as the Abyss stuff is concerned, you could just open Alistair and still make a Macabre and be fine. For the last build, Lair of Darkness Abyss, or Lair of Abyss, or Lair of the Ogdoadic, however you want to call it. Oh, by the way, this one, sorry, Dark Paladin 19 TV on YouTube. Check him out if you want to see his version of this play out. He does a couple replay videos and stuff, really cool. The final video, or the final deck here, the final version that I think is the overall best version here, Lair of the Ogdoadic. This, you guys know I love Lair, and this is an archetype that works so well with Lair, because what does Lair want to combine with? It wants to combine with other engines that tribute monsters. Any monster generically on your field, because then when you have Lair up, you contribute your opponent's shit to do it. It's incredibly good, incredibly powerful, and I really like it. Now, this isn't necessarily the exact build I'd go for. This is, by the way, Lithium, so obviously he's way bigger. You probably know of him. I may not go with like the whatever these are called, the viruses cards or whatever, but I do like that Prosperity is in here. This is not a super extra deck important strategy here, because some of the Abyss monsters are pretty strong just on the field in general, as well as you have stuff like Lilith, which now becomes extra searchable with your Pot of Prosperity. You're just going to see it more consistently there, and I love it. I love the fact that this that Lair is going to be like a really strong assisting card. Just means every single turn, the longer the duel goes on, if you have Lair of Darkness up, you're going to be able to tribute an opponent's monster to get a free monster back from grave. That value is so insane. We also have access to a card like Back to the Front, so we can revive something like the boss monster for the archetype, and he just board wipes everything that wasn't summoned from grave. So he would then be summoned from grave that way. You don't even have to use his effect to tribute 3 of your own monsters, because that's just craziness. And you're kind of cooking, right? So I really do think this version has the most synergy. There's also stuff like you can side Super Poly, because Super Poly is already just good in the meta, and this deck gets pretty easy access to Lair of Darkness. So you just get to set up everything dark on the field and then wipe it with Super Poly. So very, very good. I like this version the most. I think it's truly the best version. You also have stuff like Lilith, which counts as an additional normal summon, just like how Alistair is a great normal summon. Lilith is obviously a great normal summon in this deck as well. You have something like Diabolos is a great, great, great card, because this deck you might even consider playing Foolish Burial just because it sends the Abyss cards anyway. But Foolish Burial can just send you Diabolos, and just by sending any Abyss card, you're probably going to be able to tribute something, and that'll trigger Diabolos. Then you can get potentially a Hand Rip, as well as a level 8 body that's hard to out. And if you even if you don't want to leave it on field to be outed, you can just overlay it for a rank 8, and that can go places, right? With your Glubion plays into some of the like Galaxy Eyes, like Exceed monsters. Very, very good. There you get awesome utility. I really, really like this version the most. I'm going to be building this version. I might build a pure version, maybe invoked version. I don't know. I'm just going to see how much I like the archetype and how much I really want to go in on it. But I'm absolutely going to build the Lair version. I think this is the best version. I think unquestionably, right? But obviously that's just my opinion, right? So feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what you think about Abyss. What are you hoping, or Ogdoadic? What do you think? What do you want to build out the gate? Where do you think is the right path to go? I'm going to go Lair. Let me know where you want to go with it. And I'm going to end it off there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff from me in the future. And now I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.